Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode on SAP UI5 and Fiori training. In the last session in UI5, we discussed about how to add a simple list control as part of our UI5 application. In today's session, we will go ahead and see how can we get multiple items as part of the list control. So one question to all of you. Yesterday's class, I have added lots of list items. So maybe I'll just execute this once again, the example which we had prepared yesterday. And we have added different variety of list item like display list item, feed list item, action list item, standard list item, object list item. And we have added all of them in the items aggregation of our list control. You can see the list of the different types of items as part of our list control. In a practical world, the data comes from a database, the data comes from an OData service or some ECC system. And imagine you're planning to display sales orders in this list control. So would you go ahead and add all the million sales orders which are coming from OData, from the backend, from ECC here manually? Will you go and add all the sales orders coming from database table which are coming, let's say imagine there are 500 sales orders coming from database table. Will you go and add those 500 items manually as part of your page? Is it practically possible to add all the sales orders which are coming from backend manually over here? Of course, everyone says no. Right, you're right. Because you can't add all the items manually like we added yesterday. I just showed that example to demonstrate the power of using the list control and their different variety of list items, but we cannot practically add these items manually which comes from a service or which comes from a data source. So what is that we do to get these items as part of our page? Anyone? If you have 500 items or 800 items or 10,000 items coming, what is that you would do so that these items gets added automatically? Absolutely, we got to do the binding. So which aggregation you will be doing this binding for? Anyone? Which aggregation you will be doing this binding? Anyone? Which aggregation you will be doing this binding? What is that you want to display? You want to display items, so of course items is your aggregation on which you will be doing this binding. Is that clear to everyone? Items is what we will be doing the binding. Clear everyone? Items is what we will be doing. So now what I will do is I will include a sample JSON data. So thank you, Prudvi, for creating this JSON data. The yesterday's exercise, I have asked each one of you to create a fruits model JSON, and only two people have come back to me. One is Venkat and another is Prudvi. So I have analyzed both of your JSON, and Prudvi's JSON seems to be the best fit for going ahead with for this purpose of creating the binding. So I will take as it is, Prudvi, your XML. Thank you so much for sending the response. And I will go ahead and import that JSON file which Prudvi has created as part of our mock data folder. So I'll go to my computer, downloads folder, and I have a JSON file now here which is created by Prudvi. I'm just importing that JSON file over here. Yeah, so I'll just go back and just pick it up the file which Prudvi has created and just import that as part of my page. You can see this is the file which Prudvi has created. Absolutely perfect fit what I wanted. Now just rename the file as a JSON extension only rather than txt. I'm just renaming it as a JSON, and I will also rename the file name itself, and I will just name this file as fruits data.json. And now we can just open this file and see he has created three entity sets. Perfect. This is what was expected. Three entity sets. Each entity set, first a fruits entity set has lots of different variety of fruits. So fruit name, fruit type, color, health benefit, image, price and unit. Perfect, Prithvi. Very good. Very good. This was absolutely exactly what I expected from you. Amazing. Amazing. Suppliers. You can see the name of supplier. Since when supplier is supplying, city, fruit name. Which are all the fruits this guy is supplying? Very nice. Amazing, Prithvi. City and country whatsoever. So that's the supplier data entity set. And then we have a cities entity set where you have names famous for, state and alias name. What an amazing thing. Wow, Prudvi, very nice, Prudvi. Very nice. Really appreciate you for creating this JSON. This was so far the best JSON which somebody ever created in any of my UI5 batch. Yours was the best one actually. You has almost everything in it, and this is what was expected from every one of you. At least I was expecting a lot of answers, but Prithvi has won really this game. Okay, so now Prithvi, if you are in India, for you a special gift, a UI5 T-shirt will be sent to you after the class. Please send me an email with your address, and I will be sending a UI5 T-shirt at your doorstep, absolutely free as a gift. Okay, so you can send your address to me, and you will get this UI5 T-shirt soon, soon at your doorstep. All right, very nice, Prithvi. I'm very impressed with this JSON which you created. This is going to be a milestone. This JSON is going to be milestone for us to proceed further for everything. So at least hope you guys are clear with the structure of this JSON. It has three entity sets. Each entity set has a repetitive set of data. You have different properties inside, and we will be using this now to supply the data to our list control. So we'll not hard code the data, rather we'll use this entity set which is in the JSON, and that is what will be used to display the data on the list control. So property name can be anything. It could be fruit name, doesn't matter. Okay, it could be anything, doesn't matter. So more importantly, the JSON. This is, imagine this is the data in the database table in your ERP system, right? So it's coming in the JSON format now for us. It can have 100 records, 500 records, 10,000 records. We don't care. Whatever is coming, it's available here in this JSON. And now we will be doing the binding, as we have also learned in the case of a table. I've created such an entity set called EMP tab earlier. For table example, here Prudvi has created a JSON for us, a fruits entity set. All right, let's move on. And now I will be just going back, and let's create this up over here, the binding. So I will show you all the three ways of doing this binding. One is at design time. So first of all, let's comment out everything. I'm going to comment out everything. So that's got commented out. And now we will be doing the binding at the design tab level in the view. So I can say items. And then in this items on the list control level, first of all, we have to give the absolute path like we did in case of table example. We had used rows here. If you remember, guys, we have used rows aggregation. Here we are using items aggregation, and we're saying slash fruits. That's my entity set name. If you go back and check, this is the entity set name slash, every curly braces is a slash entity set name fruits. So I have done the binding. What is this path called? Anyone who will tell me what is this path called which is done when it is done with an aggregation name? Perfect answer. This is called absolute path. Very good answer. And then what is the next path which you will do at the items level to define which type of item? That is going to be relative path. Very good. So let's go to relative binding. So I will say each of the item should be created like a uh, maybe object list item. Yeah, each item should be created as an object list item. And now let's put the properties of object list item. So we have an intro property, we have a title property, we have an icon property, we have a number property, we have a number unit property. So these are all the different properties of an object list item type. So we had put all those properties over here, and now we will be just doing the relative binding, that within the fruits entity set, what are all the properties which are going to be displayed. So if you go to fruits entity set once again, you can see within the fruits entity set, these are all the properties you have: name, type, color, health, benefit. So let's pick up some of the properties. So I want name, and I want type, I want price, unit, and image. Yeah, name, type, price, unit, image. Let's pick it up those properties and do the relative binding here. Curly braces, type of the fruit. Yeah, and then we'll put the name of the fruit as a title. Be careful, it's case sensitive. So let's put that up. And now let's put the icon here. I think it's named as image. Let's put the number, which is price property, relative binding with the price property. And then we have the number unit as, I think, unit. So these are all the properties which Prudvi has put. You can see unit, price, image, type, and name. I'm using these properties at this point of time to do my relative path binding. So this is my main path and this is my relative path. And now it's important to also set this as a default model. So whatever Prudvi has created, that's going to be my default JSON model. So I go back to my models.js and just plug Prudvi's JSON over here rather than my sample data JSON. I'm now adding fruits data. So fruits data JSON, which Prudvi has given. That's it, guys. Nothing else is required. Rest all the magic we have already prepared yesterday, setting the model at the app level, making it ready. And today we just did the binding in the view. This is what we had also learned, aggregation binding in previous chapter. Those who have forgot, please go back to that chapter and learn again, read through again that video of aggregation binding. It was already covered. What is an aggregation binding? What is absolute path? What is relative path? So you got to go back. If you are not clear with this statement, what I've done here, please go back and watch out the chapter aggregation binding for table once again. Okay, so now all your items are going to pop up. Let's come back and refresh our page and see the magic will happen here. Boom, there you go. You can see all the values which Prudvi has created inside the JSON. Amazing, Prudvi. Your JSON is so good. See, he has put all the fruits images from internet and they are popping up beautifully. Amazing, amazing, Prudvi. What a nice JSON. You see, all the images are popping up. We are actually creating a fruits application, fruit store application. Amazing, amazing. So that's how your data comes up automatically. So this is syntax number one, guys. This is called syntax number one. It's called design time aggregation binding. The syntax number two, I will comment out the object list item here. I will also comment out this gentleman items from here. I just put it in the comments. I just put some commented code on the top and just put this code so that you guys can remember this. Okay, this is syntax number one. My duty is to teach you all the syntax. It is up to you to decide which one you wish to use. Okay, so this is one syntax which I had used here. Okay, I have removed it now. Your list will your list display some data now? Will your list display some data? Of course not. It will go off. You see, it's gone because the binding is gone. The data is also gone, right? So let's use another syntax now. So for that, I will move to the controller. This was also one question asked by one of you. Anubhav, can we do aggregation binding dynamically? Yes, we can. So go to your view one controller. In the view one controller, now you can just go to the init function. And now inside the init function, we are just going to put get the list control object, this dot get view. One second, what is this? This dot get view dot by id, and I will now put inside this by id over here the id of the list control. So let's go back. ID of the list control. I just put it here. Yeah, and now what I'm going to do is I will say dot bind items. Guys, this is the method. Bind, and your aggregation is items aggregation. We are doing the bind items. Yeah, this is what we're doing. And now inside bind items, you have to first give the path. You have to give the address with what you will want to bind. So let's give the path, and then we give the template means what is the type of your list items. I will say sap.m.object list item. Each item should be object list item. That's what I want. So I've given all of that. Yeah, so object list item. And now inside this object list item, we can put the properties. So whatever you were doing at design time means in the view we were putting this items binding, its path, its address, and we were putting child control as object list item, which is now going to be added as a template. We are going to add as a template now object list item, and all the properties once again: title, intro, number unit, any order you can specify, icon, It doesn't matter, order doesn't matter. These properties you can put in any order. Icon you want to put on top, no problem, do that. Who is stopping you? Do that, no problem, absolutely fine. No issues with this. Okay, no issues. Put in any order you want, but put the path correctly. Slash fruits, and for these gentlemen, let's put curly braces, and the title is name of the fruit. And I will now this time use intro as health benefit, icon as image, number as price of the fruit, and number unit as unit itself. I hope this is clear to everybody. This is another way. It's my duty to teach you all the techniques. It's up to you to decide which one you want. Okay, it is my duty, guys, to teach you everything. Up to you. This is another way. This is a dynamic way. This is a JavaScript way. This is the coding way. This is a programming way of doing binding. Which one is best practice? It depends on need. Anytime you want to do dynamic binding, you would use this syntax. If you are sure that the entity set never changes, you would go with design time binding in the view. So most of the cases you would see this type of approach is used. This is the approach which is used most of the case, but again depends on need. In this case it depends on need, not on best practice. Okay, not on best practice, it is based on need. Okay, the need here is that I want to do this binding dynamically. That was the need, with the controller code, not with the view code. Okay, so this is how we can achieve it. Save this up. Let's come back, gear up, and refresh the page, and you should see the magic happening once again. All the data is popping up now on the UI. Clear, everyone? But oops, I'm little surprised why my health benefit is not coming. There is something wrong. Have I used the wrong property? Health benefit is correct, but I think intro is not a property, it's description is the property name. So let's put description. Let's refresh. Nahi aaya abhi bhi. I am not sure about this. Then object list item, which property? Description. Was it a typo? Let me just check. No, it's not coming. So let's go and check in object list item health benefit. Let me take the property name as it is from there. Yes, there was a typo in health benefit, guys. I've corrected it. Let's refresh. And I think it should go as an intro only, not as a description, and refresh. And now you see the health benefits are also popping up on the UI. It was purely a typo issue. You can see, guys, all the health benefits are getting displayed over here. Very nice. Very, very nice. Are there is some bug in your JSON. You see, it's strawberry. This is not strawberry, man. This is orange. Okay. But that's okay. It's just a sample data. We are fine with it. Rest all looks good. Cool. So that's about your test data. That's about how to plug it. The third syntax, guys, third syntax. Only thing is, instead of bind items, you can use another method, which I will show you now. So this method is called bind aggregation. This is third syntax, guys. Third option, bind aggregation. Which aggregation? Items aggregation, comma, curly braces, rest all as it is you want. So guys, this is third syntax to do binding. This was second syntax, second approach. This is third approach, bind aggregation method. Items is the aggregation name, rest all things remains as it is. उठा के डाल दो यहाँ पे, सेव कर दो, मस्त चलेगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. Just come back and refresh the page, and voila, it's working as expected as earlier. This is the syntax number 3. It's my duty to teach you all the possible ways. It's up to you to decide which one you wish to use. Okay. So don't be confused that Anubhav, why have you used this? What is speciality? It is doing absolutely same. There is no change in the output. There is no difference in which one you want to use. It's up to you completely based on your need. Okay. Sometimes you see some controls, they don't have bind items method. Like I will show you in upcoming days, there is a pop-up control. Okay. There is a control called select dialog. It gets a list of items, but it doesn't have this bind items method. Okay, but still you want to display items inside select dialog control. In that case you will be using bind aggregation method, because there is no direct bind items method there. So to avoid and achieve the binding with items aggregation, we will be using bind aggregation method rather bind items method, because bind item method does not exist for that control. Still it displays list of items. So for that you have to mandatorily move to syntax number 3. Okay, sometimes it depends on control to control whether they expose bind items method or not. If there is no bind item method, you don't have a choice, you have to go with this syntax. That's the only reason why the third syntax is there. There is no performance difference, no other difference. It is same in nature, same output, same feature, same behavior. Okay, just a syntax is different. All right, let's move on. And now what I'm going to do is I'll just come here. So this is all about getting the list populated. And what about now searching? If I want to search Apple, okay, so there's a nice search field which you had put on the top. And if I want to do search Apple, it should filter the apples for me, isn't it? It should filter the apples for me. So that's what we want to do. On after entering some value and click on search button, we want to apply filtering. Guys, what is that you want to filter? Anyone? What is that you want to filter? What is that you want to filter? You want to filter items, right? Items of list. Am I correct? When you enter some data here, click on search button. At that time, I want to filter my items, isn't it? When you enter some data, click on search button, display something. I want to bring items, isn't it? Are you guys clear? Items. Are you guys clear? When I want to search something, click on filter button and I want to display items over here, filter items over here. That's what we want to do. So how can we achieve that? So let's come back. First of all, we need to find an event for our search field. Let's go back to the view and find an event for search field. So right now I'm removing this value completely. This binding, I'm removing it. And I will say here search is the event and I will say on search. That's my on search. And now I'll go to implement this on search. Right, so what we want to do, we want to do in step 1, get the value of search what user entered in search field. Right, first of all you want to get the value of what user enter in the search field. Correct, guys? Based on this value, what user enter, we need to filter list items. Is this clear, guys? Algorithm, is this algorithm clear? Try to make a picture of these things in your mind. Try to visualize how you break down the requirement into pieces to achieve it. That then only you can achieve it. So now first of all you have to search what user entered on search field, get the what user entered. Then based on that value you need to filter the list item. So first of all, when user comes back, user will enter some value on here. User will say apple, right? Users enters apple. How do you know whether user entered apple, orange, kiwi, banana, lemon? How do you know? How do you know here in this method what did user enter? How did you get to know? How? No, guys, get a value. On what you will do get value? On what will you do get value? You need an object to do get value, right? So you need to somehow get the object of the search field, right? Am I clear to everyone? Somehow you need to get the object of search field. So there are two ways. One way is you can do this dot get view dot by id. Another way is you can do event object. You forgot that event object planes coming from different directions, sending an event object. This is what is so powerful, guys. Don't miss this out. You need an event object, and using this event object now you can get the search field object. So you can get search field object using o event dot get source. This gives you the search field object because the search event belongs to search field. So you got the search field and now you can get the value. You can get say search value equals to search field dot get value. Is this clear, everyone? The steps. Is this step clear to everybody? How did we get the search field value? Is this clear to everyone? How did we get the search field value? If not, there's another option. You can also read the parameter of the event. You can also do get parameter, and there is a value query parameter, sorry, which you can get from the parameter. That's also search value. So these are two techniques with which you can get the search value what user enter. Technique number one. Technique number two, it's up to you to decide which one you want to choose. Both work same way. It's my duty to teach you all the variations in the code. It's up to you to apply which one you want to choose. I'm commenting out second one, and I will go with search val, or maybe I will comment out the first one, and I want to do it with the event parameter. So I've got my search value, and now based on this we want to apply it on the list control. So let's get the list control object. So this dot get view dot by id, please get me the list control. So id list, is this the one? Let me go and check. Yes, this is the correct id of the list control. Id list is the id of your list control. And now dot get binding of items, please get me items binding dot filter. Hey, can you please filter for me? A filter array you have to pass. Filter array. You have to pass a filter array. You have to pass a filter array. You have to pass a filter array. And let's create this filter array. A filter array. It's an array. It's an array. You have to pass a filter array. You have to pass a filter array. This is an array I've created in JavaScript. And now we'll create a filter object. Filter object. What is that you want to filter? So you want a filter object. So basically you want operand and operator, right? That's how you apply filters. So you want to compare something with something, right? Two operands and one operator. Is that clear, everybody? How to create a filter? We need operand and operators. I want to say whatever user enter here apple, please compare this value. This is your first operand. With what are you comparing? Name. What are you comparing? Name. Are you guys clear? Both of your operands. This is your operand number one of your search value, and this is your operand number two. Two means this is the binding of the of the name property of the list. Okay, that's what we are doing. We are going to search based on this binding. We are saying, okay, this is my second operand. What will be the comparison operator? What will be the operator between these two? Anyone? Equals to? No, guys. Equals to you can use, but I would say contains, because it's a Google like search, right? It is contains. If it contains, maybe people don't enter exactly the apple. Maybe people will enter a double p. What will you do in that case? Shouldn't you find apple if people just enter a double p? Shouldn't you find apple if people just enter a double p? Shouldn't you find apple if people just enter a double p? Yes, you should, right? So the operand will be what in that case? What will be your operand? Should you use equals to operator then? Yeah, should you use equals to operator? Of course not. You should use contains operator. Is that clear to everybody? So two operands and one operator, that's what a filter is. It's an object, guys. It's an object of UI filter class. Let me create that object. So new sap.ui.model dot filter class ui dot model dot filter object. And now inside this first operand is your property name property, which is there in the model. So if you just go and check that in the fruits data, I want to say, hey, my name, I want to compare my name property which is there in the model, comma operand is your operand name is contains. So you can use a constant sap ui dot model dot filter operator dot control space, and you can see the available operands here. Between, contains, ends with, equals to, greater than, equals to, greater than, least, less than. So all these are operand operators, sorry, these are all operators. I will be using contains operator. And what is the search value? That's my search value. Pump that search value over here, and that becomes your filter criteria. I hope it's clear to everybody how to make a filter criteria Is that clear to everyone? How to make a filter object in SAP UI5? How to make a filter object, and this filter object you pass it in your array. So you say your array a dot filter, array of filter is equals to, and you can either pass like this, or you can also use filter function, array function called push function. We learned about it in JavaScript. Push an array of filter. Done, guys. Done. Superb. Is this flow clear to everybody? How to create a filter object, create an array, pass that array to the binding of items to filter the items of the list control. Yeah, step by step, line by line, no copy paste of code. When you follow the pattern, your result will naturally come. Okay, so query here is the parameter name. You can debug. You should have a habit to debug, guys. You forgot the event concept. If you go to UI5 SDK and check the query parameter, the parameters of search field, this is a parameter name. You can debug this. Let's come back, refresh. Let me just enter some value. I will enter Anubhav, and let me debug this. I press F12 and I click on search button. It hits my breakpoint, and now let's investigate event object. Event object dot get parameters, and you can see there is a parameter called query parameter, which gives you this value Anubhav what you entered on the UI. So what have I done wrong if I use get parameter of query? मैंने क्या पाप कर दिया अगर मैंने ये यूज कर लिया तो? What did have I done wrong if I use this statement to get my value what I entered on the UI? Simple event concept. Please look back the previous class where I've taught you the event concept. Please go back to the class where I've taught you the event concept. This was already explained in the previous class. That's why I say day by day, taking breath inside this tunnel will become difficult. You will start suffocating and you will die in the tunnel itself. If you not practice every day, if you not practice every day, if you not take a print of my PPT and carry with you and read it at least once a day, it will become suffocating for you over a period of time. It will become so difficult for you to recall the core concepts of SAP UI5, models, bindings, parameters, event object. All of that I've taught you in the last section. That was the heart of UI5. And now on top of that heart, we are building just UI5 Fiori controls. We're just building Fiori on top of those concepts. Nothing new is introduced here. We're just reusing those concepts and building it. Aggregation binding, bind items, bind aggregation methods, relative path, absolute path, models, events, every single concept which I've taught you in the last section of our classes, we are just using all of that. Okay, so that's what I've done, and now that parameter will be used, and you can see now it is not finding anything because there's no fruit with the name Anubhav. And now let me just say a double p. What do you think it should find? It should find apple, it should find pineapple, because everything includes a double p, isn't it? Let's do a search. Voila, there you go. Superb. Can you see the data popping up on our UI? It has filtered out those two values. Superb, amazing. That's what I liked about UI5. You can see it has filtered the data for you. Is that clear, everybody? How to filter the data? Is that clear to everybody? How to filter your data? Is that clear, everyone? Step by step, line by line, how to filter the data. Now suppose if I go back and I want to add also, maybe I want to change this binding and I want to put the type of the fruit over here, alkaline or citrus. Let's refresh. I just come back and you see now fruit types are coming, alkaline, citrus, and also this value is coming lemon and all that. Suppose I want to filter LE, let's say. You can see it has found a couple of fruits. Now you can see LE, I want to also probably search for ALK, which means I want to search all the fruits which are of alkaline type. Basically based on type also. I want to also filter based on type, guys, based on type. So let's put ALK and enter. Oops, it did not find. Why? why it did not find me the alkaline fruits? Why it did not find? Because we have not applied any filter on type property. We have applied a filter only on the name property. Yeah, I hope it's clear, everyone. We have only applied on the name property, not on the type property. So let's do that. डरना क्या है, वापिस से बना देंगे एक और filter object, create one more filter object, and I say this one is probably for my type, and I say new SAP UI model filter. Which property shall I want to apply the filtering? Which property I want to apply the filter? Which property I want to apply filter on the type property? That's your operand now. What is the operator? What is the comparison operator you want to choose for filtering? What is the comparison operator? Contains, of course, SAP UI model filter operator dot contains control space, and I want to use contains operator, and I want to say my search value again, search value. That's what I want to use, and we are done. Is that clear? And now push this also into the array of filter dot push, and let's test it. Is this clear, everyone? Another filter I have added for type property also. Is this clear, everybody? Another filter I have added for type also to it, and that filter array is going here. That's why it's an array, because it can receive multiple filters. Yeah, clear, everyone? Another filter for type, same syntax, just the property changes. Let's come back and refresh, and now I will just go and put alkaline alk search. Oops, it's not working. Why, guys? Why it's not filtering based on type alkaline? Why it's not working? Any guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses, guys? Any guesses why it's not working? Why it's not working, guys? What do you think could be the possible reason, guys? The reason is simple. It's basically doing an AND operation. It's basically doing an AND operation between two filters. It's basically applying an AND, which means both condition must fulfill, right? Which means name must be having alkaline and type also must be having alkaline. Then only system will return you the data. Is that clear to everybody? The name and the type both must have ALK. Is that clear, everyone? Both must have ALK, then only system will return the data, because an AND condition, it's an AND operator. Do you understand AND operator or operator? Do you understand AND operator? If condition and operator. Do you understand, guys? If condition and operator, it's doing an and operation between these two. Okay, between these two. Yeah, so this is why it's not giving to. Maybe just to show you guys, I'll go back to fruits data, and for apple, which is an alkaline, I'll just put ALK I've done a typo intentionally to show you guys if it works or not. So now both contains ALK. Do you agree? Both name and type contains ALK. So my end condition should pass and it should give me that fruit at least. Correct? So let's come back and test it. So I just refresh, and now you see both the type and the fruit name includes ALK. Let me search for ALK, press enter. Voila. Can you see it's filtering because both of them are fulfilling the condition. It's by default an AND operator. Is that clear, everyone? It's an AND operation between these two. Both must fulfill, both must contain ALK inside. Both must contain ALK inside, guys. Is that clear to everybody? Yes or no? Yes or no? Don't ask me question later on if you are not answering now. Yes or no? Okay, if you don't answer me now, if you ask a question, that time I'll ask you why didn't you answer when I was asking you understood or not. Okay, it's difficult to break the flow, guys, and go back to the previous topic if you don't understand. You can say now itself no, I will re-explain it. Okay, now ALK, it's working, but how do we do then OR operator? Anubhav, how do we do an OR operation then? And to nahi, and we understood the end, it's doing, but I don't want to do and I want to do OR. How can we achieve OR operation, guys? OR operation, it's very easy. Let's come back to the coda, and now you see here we are pushing things in the filter. we will create a main filter object. Okay, we'll be creating a main filter object. So we'll say var o main filter and say new sap.ui.model.filter. And now inside this filter we are going to add filters, and then we are going to say and equals to false. This is the main filter, guys. Again, a filter object. This includes multiple filters, and we will explicitly say please make an and of these filters false. If and is false, what it becomes? If and operator is false, what it becomes? If and operator is false, what it becomes? It becomes an or operator. Very good. So let's push this up. So o filter comma o filter type, both we edit. We have added both of them, and now in array filter main array we will just add this main filter. We don't want anything else, because now watch out, watch out, watch out. You have got this filter here, name wala. You've got the type wala filter here, and now both of them is included in the main filter already, considering my end is false. And that main filter is finally going in this array, and this array is finally going inside this over here. I hope it's clear, guys, how the flow is changed. We have introduced another filter, top filter, which says it's an AND operator is false between them. And now watch out the magic. Watch out the magic. You can search now alkaline and citrus. I will just say CIT. There is no fruit with CIT inside. Okay, press enter. It has got me all the citrus fruits. It is comparing the type. Okay, it's comparing the type. Okay, now if you go back, and if I just say lemon, lem, press enter, it has still got the lemon. Okay, so it's actually doing an or operator. It's matching. If either the type or the name matches, get me the data. That's how the or operation works. If we have to code for more filter, then we repeat this code. Yes, repeat this code blindly, guys. Repeat this code blindly. This object never changes, never ever changes. There are these two types of inside blocks. One is this type of block, and one is this type of block inside the filter object. Either you say add a single filter, or you add a multiple filter. Okay, and this will work standard naturally. In also when you plug the OData service, this code will also work as it is. You don't have to do extra coding. This is standard for all types of model. You don't have to change it for OData model later on. This code works even for OData model naturally, guys. Don't have to put any effort in future to change it when we plug OData model. I will come to its part of our course. All right, so that's about creating the filter. That's about adding the filter and displaying and filtering the data. But I want a Google like search. What is Google like search? Anyone? What is Google like search? You go to Google and you come here, and on the Google you type Fiori training. Okay, okay, you type Fiori training. So I go to google.com, and I will try typing here fioretraining.com. You see Fiori. The moment I type, you see Fiori training, Anubhav. So a lot of people, I have seen my keywords, a lot of people searching only Anubhav's Fiori training. So people, I've seen Google. Yesterday I was talking to also Google consultant for my AdWord account, and he was saying a lot of people are searching Fiori training Anubhav actually, and it has actually become a keyword. Okay, so this is like as in when you're typing, system is giving you a suggestion, right? System is giving you suggestion. So that's the kind of search I want. I want to filter the data as in when I'm typing. So basically key press, whenever I'm doing key press, that time it should apply my search, isn't it? It is a Google like search. How that can be possible? Very easy, very easy. Instead of using search event, okay, there is a search field. Instead of using search event, don't use search event, use a different event. The name of that event is live search event. That's it, guys. Done, guys, done. Just use live search event and you're done, guys. No other change is required, guys. Live search event. This event now fire on every key press. As in when user press a keyboard key, this event will fire. It will not fire on search button. It will fire on when user click on press a key on the keyboard. only then it gets fired. But there is a small catch. This particular event has a different parameter. Let me go back to SAP UI5 SDK and show you the parameters available for these events. So we have used, which parameter we have used for search event to get the search value? Which event parameter we have used for search event to get the parameter value? We used query parameter, right? We've used query parameter. So this parameter is different now. So I'm going to come back and go to API reference, and I'll just go there and I'll just say search field. Yeah, there you go, your search field. And now inside the search field we will just go and check the events, and you see there's a live change and there's a search event. So if I go to the search event, first of all, do you see the parameter, query parameter here in the search event? Anyone, do you see the query parameter in the search event? Yes, I do see. Yes, I do see the query parameter. So what is the parameter, boss, for live search event? To come to live search event, this is the live search event, live change event, actually not live search, live change. What is the parameter name, do you think, here to get the value of search field? What is the parameter name here? What is the parameter name? It's a new value parameter. That's the only change, guys. For live change event, it's a new value as a parameter name, which gives you the current search string. For the search event, it's the value parameter. So you got to handle that. Let's come back to the code, and it's a live change actually. So I'm just going to, first of all, this one is search, and I'm going to say live change. So both I want to apply together, whether user click on search button or user type in, I want to apply both. So on search, and now inside on search you got to do handling of this. So if your search value is empty, okay, if your search value is empty, guys, how do you check in JavaScript? Just put not equals to. Okay, just put this not symbol, which indicates that this search value has nothing. In that case, what I'm going to do is I will say please use the query parameter, new value parameter, instead of query parameter, because I know that this event was then triggered because of live change. Is this line clear to everybody? If query parameter doesn't give you the value, maybe this on search event was fired due to live change. And since it's a live change, new value is the right parameter which will give you the search value. Is that clear to everybody? Is that clear to everybody why I have written this coda? Yeah. Now let's click on save button and come back, and watch out, the magic will happen now on the UI. Google like search, guys. Google like search. What do you want me to type? Anybody? What do you want me to type? What do you want me to type? Anyone? Any name? What do you want me to type? You want me to type Barry? B. See, the moment I type B, it filters everything which has B inside. See, it has got B inside everything. Yeah, it has got everything B inside. BE, and you see, boom, you can see it has searched the data now. Barry, it has the moment you put BE, it has searched, and now just you can see it's a live search, guys. Yeah, it's a live search. It's a live search. It's a live search. Yeah, there you go. You see, it's a live search. As in when I'm typing, it's searching, guys. So that's what how live search works, live change event works, as far as the sorry, the search field is concerned. Okay, it's a Google like search, guys. Amazing. You can mesmerize your user with these kind of things on system. And now what about navigation? I want to enable a navigation for every list. I want to get an arrow symbol. I want to enable a navigation for every item of my list. How can I do that? So come back to the list type. Okay, list item type class. So where is my list item type class? Here you see my list item type class, object list item I'm using. Just add another property. The property name is called type property, and put that as navigation. Okay, just add another property called type and put it as navigation. This is another property I'm adding to the list item type level. Save this, come back, refresh the page. What difference do you see in your UI? Anyone? What difference do you see now in your UI? What difference do you see as compared to last time in your UI now? You can see a nice clickable symbol is coming, which is indicating key boss, this is something now navigationable. So let's click here and you see it's highlighting the element whenever I'm clicking on it, which means it's triggering some event now, which will take me to the which can do anything, guys. Okay, it's triggering that event. That event, the moment you enable these, the moment you enable this property, system has got an arrow symbol at the end of every item. This arrow symbol indicates that now we can go to the we can actually trigger an event. It's triggering an event. That event is called item press event. Okay, it's called item press event, which is available at the least level. Okay, at least control level there is an item press event. So let's go and put that item press event at the least level. So this is your list, and whenever somebody do an item press, it's a least level. Don't put it at items level. The event will be at the least level, item press event. And I can say on item press, and I can now go ahead and write coda in my controller for item press. And what I want to do is I want to save this. Of course, you will be putting an event object always. And now here, what I want to do, I want to navigate to the next screen. Okay, so do I need to again write a code, get the parent object, get the parent object, get the app object, and then call two method to navigate to the next screen? Do I need to call again here the same code which we are already doing here on this button? This button is also navigating you to next screen. I want to also navigate to next screen on list click. So do you want to write the same code which I've written on the top button here again? Do you want to write the same code again? No, you don't want to. Where is that guy gone? Where is that guy gone? It's here on next. Just invoke your on next method, guys, which you have already written. This dot on next. This is the object of your controller. Your controller has a on next method. I am just invoking it. On click of any list item, navigate to the next screen. Is this clear to everybody? When user click on an item, we want to navigate to next screen. ये समझ में आया या नहीं आया? Is this clear to everybody or not? If it is clear, let's move on. Come back, refresh. मजा आने वाला है, मजा आने वाला है. Let's come back, select an item. Boom, there you go. It's navigating to the next item. You can see, guys, it's navigating to the next screen. Yeah. Now I know what's going in your mind. Anyone, what do you think? What's going in your mind? What's going, is this, are you thinking the same which I am thinking? Are you thinking the same which I am thinking? Who will tell me what should be the functionality? Who will say, tell me what should be the functionality? Who will tell me what should be the functionality? Who will tell me what should be the functionality? Who will tell me what should be the functionality? Anyone who will tell me what should be the functionality? What should happen ideally if you are functional developer, if you are functional, if you're designing this? We should display drill down. Yes, very good. We should have a drill down. Whenever user select a fruit banana, we want to display now banana over here. Okay, we want to display banana over here. So whatever value user selecting on the previous screen, we want to display that value over here. How do you do transfer of data from one element of multiple elements, out of multiple element, transferring single element to the next level, transferring a single element to the next level? Remember, recall guys, go back in flashback and recall what did we do? What did we do in table simple form example? Whenever user select a record of table, how did it got the data in the bottom? We have done element binding. Yes, we have done element binding. Very good answer. Most of you are right. You have done element binding. We got to do element binding here. How do you do that? You have to now get the address of the item which is selected. So use event object and say var my list item which was selected by user. So o event dot get parameter, and I will now here put list item. So this is a parameter which will give me the selected list item which are selected by user. And now with this I will get var as path, the binding context I will get binding context path. I got the address of that element, guys. I have got the address of the element which user has selected. Okay, so get the address of the element which was selected. Okay, we got this address, guys. We got this address, and now we have to navigate. Before navigating, we will bind this address as an element to the second view, whole of the second view. Get the second view object and bind. Get the second view object and bind this path with second view. Bind this path as an element binding. Bind this whole element with the second view, guys. That's what we got to do. So we say var, we can say this dot get view dot get parent. That gives you, get parent gives you the app control. We've got the app control. Inside the app control, we get the pages of the app. We have pages aggregation. You remember pages aggregation in the app control? We have added the pages inside the app control. Let me go back and show you. You can see this is your app control, app container. Inside the app container, we have pages aggregation, right? So we are now going to get a page. So which page I want? I want view 2. I want view 2. So let's get the pages. Get pages of 1. It's an array. Get pages gives you an array. Get pages of 1, which means I want my second view object. So this gives me the view object of view 2. You got the view 2 object. Yeah. So current view, whatever is the current view, uska parent, current view's parent. So remember, if you want to go to brother 1, want to go to brother 2, it has to go via parent. So my current view, its parent. After it got the parent, from there I'm going to the pages of the parent, who are the childrens of parent, and I'm getting the second children, which is my second view object. I've got my second view object, and I will say bind element. You forgot the syntax or what? Bind element and pass this address, guys. Pass this address of selected item. As a result of that, your second view will now receive this address, will now get connected to this path. Is this clear to everybody? Is this clear, everybody, what we have done? Is this clear, everybody, what we have done? Element binding with whole of second view we have done. And now in the second view, simply go in second view and add a property, add an element which can display this data. Go to second view. In the content of second view, we can put an object header control, which is used to display any business object on top of page, and it has properties like title. We have intro again. This is used to display single business object at the top of the page. It also has number, it has number unit, and then it has icon. These are all the properties it has. This is used to display a single object, business object on top of the page. And now let's do the element bind, the path. So element binding is plugged, and that element bind is going to display now the data over here to you. So let's put all the properties, the relative path of that element. So we have a title as, maybe I will put here the type of the fruit or health benefit, and I'll put intro as name, number as price, number unit as unit. These are all the magic of the JSON which Prithvi has created, and I can say icon as image. Voila, that's my binding. Naturally, this second view, whole of this second view is going to receive the values actually, and it's going to display. And I'll also say name on the top of the title. Fruit name should come in the title. So whole of second view will receive that element. Inside that element, you have these child properties for single fruit, and it will get displayed. Let's come back and refresh the page. Watch out, guys. What should happen when I select orange? What do you think should happen when I select orange? What do you think what should happen when I select orange? What do you think should happen when I select orange? What do you think should happen when I select orange? What do you think should happen? It should drill down and it should display orange on next screen. Amazing. Orange is now popping up on the next screen. Go back, select a different fruit. Papaya. Papaya is displaying on the next screen. Amazing. Tender coconut. Wow, avocado. Ooh, blood orange. Oh my god, amazing. Blood orange is coming up on the next screen. Lime, there you go. Lime is displayed on the second screen, guys. That's an amazing Fury application. We are moving towards building an amazing Fury app, guys. This is a first milestone. What do you think this type of application is called? This type of application in Fury is called Worklist Fury application. This is called Worklist Fury application, guys. Okay, this application is called Worklist Fury application. Next time you see this kind of application in your life, always call this as a Worklist app. Okay, this is Fury standard. Okay, this is called Fury standard Worklist application. You might have seen in mobile devices when you order food on Food Panda. Who is foodie in the batch? Anyone who loves food, who like cooking, fooding, who want to order foods all the time, pizzas, burgers, different types of foods, pastas, yeah, foods on Swiggy, Zomato, foods on foodpanda.com. So you might have seen this app on foodpanda.com. You can choose a food of your choice. You can add to cart on the second screen, go back, choose a different food, and again add to cart based on your quantity what you need. So this is the kind of application, pizza application you might have seen. This is how they develop it. Mobile like app, absolutely mobile experience, guys. Are you guys clear? We end our session. That's it. Let's move on to the doubts. So I have received one doubt over the email from Subhashri. I have also received another doubt from one more person regarding there was an issue which was happening in the element binding, but you have not your RAR file is not proper. I think you have to send the RAR file, Ratna. I think it was Ratna. Ratna, your RAR file which you have sent me is corrupted. Please send me the zip file. Right click on the project in Web IDE, export, and that is what you should send it to me, Ratna. Okay, your project which you've sent me is corrupted. So always go to Web IDE, export, and whatever you have exported, that you should upload in Google Drive and send it to me. Then I will take up your doubt, Ratna, in next class. Subhashri has sent me one doubt. She is having a navigation issue. Let's check it out. What's going wrong in her code? So let's go back and check what's going wrong. Subhashri is facing an issue. First of all, I need to correct her project structure. There is no web app directory here. I will add a web app directory. Follow the proper project structure, guys. You will have problems in future. Don't do like college like programming. So now I'm going to move these things inside the web app folder. I've spent ample amount of time to explain you these things. You should not repeat these mistakes. Put a web app folder. You have to have a proper project structure. Okay, let's come inside index HTML. And now let's see what is the issue she is facing in terms of navigation. So she has created a dynamically the app control, very nice, creating the food. And now Nilesh is the namespace for her project, which represents the web app directory in this case. Okay, so Nilesh dot, first mistake, Subhashri, you have used slash here, it should be dot. Are you there, Subhashri, in the class? Please unmute your line if you're there. The first mistake, you should use dot here. That's the first biggest mistake. Okay, let's see. Let's not put dot. Save this and run. What happens? Let me run this and see what kind of console errors do we get. Okay, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to right click, say run index HTML, open run configuration, and choose index HTML here. Save and run. So she's facing an issue in navigation. Let's check it out. At least her view is getting loaded. I don't know how come, but navigation not working. On click of next button, it's not navigating. Press F12. Look at the console. No error in console. All right. So why navigation is not working? Okay, at least it looks like your views are getting displayed, but I'm not convinced. You should use dot. Don't violate this. It may be working, but I'm not sure. Okay, just put a dot for your view objects properly. So we created both the view objects, first view and second view, added in the pages of the app control, and finally putting the app control in the body of HTML. Perfect. This looks good. Both the views are now part of it. And now let's go to the first controller. Here on next button, sap.ui.getCore, she's doing by id app control. Okay, and then oapp.to to second view. Okay, what's the id of your view? Your id of the view is id second. Your id of the view is id second. What id have you put here? You're putting the object, which is incorrect. You have to put the ID of the view. That is the mistake, Subhashri, you have done. It's the object ID. You have put it incorrect actually. Let's put the correct the ID here. ID second, come back, refresh, and let's test this application. Click on next button, boom, there you go. You see it's navigating to the next screen. Similar mistake you've done in second controller. I think you have to put here the ID of the view, not the object of the view. That's incorrect. You have to put the ID of the view. What's the ID of my first view? It's ID first. Let's go back and put that over here. Let's come back and refresh, and now check it out. Next, back, next, back. There you go. You can see your solution is at your doorstep, Subhashri. That's the solution. If you're watching this by video, please watch the video of today's class. At the end you will find the solution. So one request now to Ratna, please send me the project properly. I will be able to take up your doubt also in the next class. Your project is corrupted. Your RAR file is corrupted. Please send me the project once again by exporting from WebID directly. So that was the answer for Subhashri question. Any questions in today's class? Anybody feel free to ask.
Anubhav?
Yes, please.
Hi, Anubhav. I have a doubt on the live search. Uh, we have kept the condition like and on or, right? So my doubt is, if we search any string, like if it is matches any of the items, it should bring all of them. We should not. If there are 20 fields. So in real time, is it? I mean, we'll go with the 20 conditions.
Yes, of course. You will use a for loop, and you will have your 20 fields inside an array. Yeah, and then you will be doing this loop, and you will be creating a filter object. Yeah, and you will be putting your field name. So array of fields, whatever you're looping of ith element, and the dot name of the field. Okay, that's what you will be doing. Okay, so you will be actually putting here I, then you'll be putting here your field name, then your operator, and then your second operator too. Like this, you will be creating filter object, and you will be pushing all of them into the final filter. Yeah, like that. So you will have array of filter dot, keep pushing it in your array like that. Hope it makes sense. And then finally your array of filter, you can pump it to the filter object. But we usually
Thank
don't
you.
apply such a complicated thing. Come out of Sebgui mindset. We never have 20 fields on the UI on a single screen. Never have it. It's a hypothetical use case. You are violating Fiori guidelines. Fiori says keep it simple. Do you know the tagline for Fiori? Keep simple things simple. Why do you want to display 20 sales order properties on first screen itself? Why not inside the drill down? Never needed, right? Nobody search for all 20 fields on sales order. Tell me one simple business object which you have used in your life in SAP, which you have searched based on 20 different fields. At least as far as I know, a sales order is searched based on its type, based on sales order number, and based on supplier. That's it. Searching is that much only. Correct? Think about practical use cases, and then accordingly you should plan it. Nobody search with 20, 30 fields. Nobody does that. I don't think so even end user can remember it. Yeah. All right, next question please. I would
Yeah,
request
hi
you to
Anubhav.
mute your line. If you have no questions, please mute your line. Yes, please go ahead, Raul.
Yeah, Anubhav. Actually, my question is not with this today's class. I'm working on one of this master detail application with OData. In that, like, I'm facing one issue. Like, can I show you now?
Sorry, right now no job support. Let us reach to the right
Not with
chapter.
the job support. It's with your training itself. Like, I'm practicing that. So in that, I'm facing one issue.
Okay, anybody else has any doubt?
Anu, I have one doubt
Yes.
in this class.
Mhm.
You use get pages, right? And you use an array index. So it would be very kind of static. Can we use with ID or something else to bring the page second view? I mean, like.
Actually, we have used the ID over here to go to second view, which is very much static, and I agree with you.
Not here,
Error
not
prone.
here.
Mhm.
In the standard statement which we did the exercise, not exercise, the class today.
Which one? Where?
Yeah, get pages. 45, line number 45.
Okay, here, this one.
Yeah,
Okay, you mean to say this index here?
yeah,
This index
that index.
never changes. This index never changes because the way in which order you have added your views to the app control, this index never changes. But actually, this one also gets simplified when we'll reach to manifest chapter. We don't need to do this because navigation currently is a pain for us. We are doing navigation via app control. We are doing binding via app control. When I teach you router concept, that day I will come back to your question which you are asking today, and I will answer it in a better way. So this code is also will change. This will go away actually. This becomes easy. This whole thing go away permanently, and we will use a better technique in upcoming days. But as far as right now this one is concerned, this is stable enough. It will work as long as you don't change the order in which the views are added. Okay, in
Yeah, we
which the
need to
views are
know the
added.
order of the views. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So there's a question that this URL 921 is not working. Let me show you. It's working already. I have tested it. You can see it's working. So just go to the home URL, and for your information, many of you were complaining about videos not playing. We have changed the complete platform now overnight, and now all the videos are live once again with a better platform. Okay, so now you get an amazing another different player I have embedded, and we have changed the complete platform now completely overnight. For most of our batches, you will not have any playback issues anymore. You can also run this in mobile because it is mobile friendly now. This website is responsive, so we have adapted it overnight. All the batches including ABAP on HANA, you will never ever have now cannot load. That issue is to come. An unknown error occurred in playback, and then maximum number of playback occurred. You cannot play, please wait for some time. Those kind of issues are permanently gone. I had fixed it. Okay, I had fixed everything. It's already working. If it is not working for you guys, please drop me an email with screenshot of what is not working. The URL, I will copy and paste the URL in chat window again. It may have a you may have a permission issue. I want you to send me the screenshot of issue if you're facing any issue with it. Okay, so that the link I have already given. You can try that out and come back to me for any questions and doubts. By the way, how do you guys feel about it? Does it look better or as compared to the last time? Have anybody tried running videos here? It's good? All right, fine then. If you are happy, then I am happy. If you guys are not happy, then I'm also not happy. Okay, cool guys. Thank you so much. So let's move on to
Yeah,
Rahul. Your
yeah,
doubt?
One more.
Yes, please.
Anubhav.
Yes, one by one.
Sorry, one last question. Anubhav, my web ID, I'm unable to use the auto completion, the control space, the suggestion. It's not working for XML. It's working for JavaScript files. Do you have to do any setting?
Yes, there is a setting. Let's select this here, Fury Like app. You can click on this preferences button, go into preferences. First of all, make sure that in the code completion, it's enabled here. Yeah, this code completion must be enabled, and you should click on save. The second thing is on WebID full stack. There is also a setting which comes as type of project type. You should make the project type as SAP Fiori. It doesn't come here actually, but that comes over there in WebID full stack. Okay, so you have to choose it as Fiori project. Also in keyboard shortcut, make sure that control space is selected as code completion. So you have to check that here. If control space is selected as code completion, so that you have to check in the keyboard shortcuts. So only three settings
It's
are.
working for JavaScript, so which means
Shortcut is proper, so you have to
yeah.
just check code completion here. This should set to enable. For me it's working. I've updated my web IDE when we started the batch on 2nd of December, sorry, 15th of December. Okay,
All right. Thank you, Anubhav.
okay, all right. Anyone else, or maybe
Yeah.
let's give control to Rahul. Rahul, please share your screen. Tanzim sir.
Anu, I have a small query regarding that aggregation.
I will come to that. Let's see.
Uh,
Rahul, we can see your screen. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is my application. This is coming from OData.
Hmm.
When I'm clicking this, I'm getting the data here. But what I'm doing here, when I click on this table, I'm trying to display those values in the second view,
Third view,
view
actually.
3.
Second
So
view is this.
third view, sorry, third view, and it's not working. And when I'm refreshing this,
See, it's already coming undefined type something.
yeah, here now it is working fine. Now in the view 3 I can try to display, but when I go back and see in this, it is not working. This binding is not working now.
Okay, please email this
When
point.
I refresh this,
This looks difficult to
okay,
track right away. I have to check it how your
okay,
nesting is being done, and I will come back. This is a
okay,
very, very, very heavy dose of antibiotic for many, many,
yeah,
many
yeah,
of you. It's very, very heavy dose, very heavy dose. This we will reach towards the end of our course. We can build this kind of app. Of course, towards the end of this course, you will be able to do all of this, whatever he's doing, Rahul is doing. But don't panic, guys. Don't ignore this. Ignore this. But Rahul, you send your project to me, and I will check it out.
sure. Anu.
Are you using our OData server, our own OData server, which we provided?
I'm using the same OData server,
S4C, right?
but yeah, correct.
Fine, then it works for me. Then I can also debug. Fine, cool, no problem. I will check it. I will check it, Rahul. All right. Anybody
Okay,
else?
thanks.
Ajit, your doubt, please. Ajit, are you there? You're muted. Yes, now I can hear you.
Hello. Yeah, no, I have a small doubt regarding that aggregation functionality. First of all, we have used that list class, right? For the list class, we have put the tag as list, right?
Yes,
And aggregates
yes, we have put a tag as a list.
list. But list tag, if we go to the list tag, we don't have direct aggregation called items.
Who
In
will
SAP
answer this question for us?
m.list.
1 second, I will
So
repeat the
general,
question. 1 second, I'll repeat the question. So Ajit is saying when I go to the list class, Ajit is unable to find an aggregation called items aggregation. What is the golden funda, Fox? When you don't find a property or an aggregation in the class, what should you do? Everybody unanimously answered go to parent class, and this was covered as a funda, Fox, in our previous classes. Let me show you that. Have you taken a print of this, Ajit, this PPT?
yes,
No.
yes or no?
No, taking print out is easy. Are you going through it every day? That's important for me.
No, no, no.
Yes,
I
I've
know.
taken
Actually,
print
this
out.
was not this was not my doubt. Means why this we have used that items
Uh-huh.
because the same thing we have followed for properties also. Whenever in that property we will not get directly property in that class. Generally, we go to the parent classes also, right? The same applies to aggregation also. If I am not wrong,
Yes, it applies to aggregation also. So if you check
right now.
here, it shows this. If we don't find a property, then we can go always to the parent class actually to check that up. Yeah, you can see here. This is the funda, Fox. If you are unable to find a property, event, method, aggregation. See, I've written it also. Can you see?
Yeah, no, my doubt is next only. After we put that uh, aggregation,
Hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, then can you please go to that XML view?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Under these items, generally we are putting all the classes, subclasses of object list item, right?
List item type, not list item. List item type.
List item type one.
Uh-huh.
Type
Mhm.
subclasses.
Mhm.
No, actually, I'm just clarifying my understanding is correct or not.
Yes, it is correct. Your understanding is correct. And more will be clear if you look at this class diagram, how it is designed in SAP UI5. You can check here. Yesterday we discussed about it. The list has a parent class called list item. It is an item segregation, and that aggregation aggregates the item base class, list item base class, and that has child classes. So any of these child class object can be added to the list item segregation. That's what exactly we did yesterday. All right, with that, it's a wrap on today's class. See you tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.